at polynomial division for one more day. This week you guys have looked at kind of what it means to divide a variable term into a polynomial, and yesterday we looked at dividing trinomials, so three-term expressions, by binomials, two-term expressions. Today we're just going to kind of expand that a little bit and look at dividing still binomial, two-term expressions only, into larger polynomials. So we're going to start by dividing 2x to the fourth, minus 9x to the third, minus 7x squared, plus 16x minus 30, all by x minus 5. So this is long and it's going to take a long time, but the process is very repetitive and it's the same process we used yesterday. So we start by dividing 2x to the fourth by x. So how many times does x go into 2x to the fourth? Well, the 2 divided by 1 gives us 2, and the x to the fourth divided by x gives us x to the third. And we should see every time that the first term cancels out right away. That's our goal, is to make that first term cancel out and just kind of see what we're left with from there. So we divide this 2x to the fourth by x, first term by the first term. We get 2x to the third. We multiply 2x to the third by x minus 5. So 2x to the third times x is 2x to the fourth. That's good. That's what we want to eliminate. And 2x to the third times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10x to the third. Then remember, so we divided, we multiplied. Now we're going to subtract this from up here. So 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth cancels. That's good. And negative 9 minus negative 10, or plus 10. And I'm just going to draw this in now also. So negative 9 plus 10, that becomes, is positive 1 x to the third. And we carry down the minus 7x squared. So again, we're going to divide x to the third divided by x. That gives us our next term, which is minus x squared. Oops, I'm sorry, plus x squared. Right, so x to the third divided by x is x squared. Let's just line this up a little bit better. So we multiply x squared by x minus 5. So x squared times x is x to the third. X squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. So we divide x cubed by x. We multiply the result by this, and we subtract that result down here. So subtract all of this. X cubed minus x cubed cancels. Negative 7 minus negative 5. Let's just go ahead and notice that if we're subtracting a negative, that's the same as adding. And I'm going to go ahead and show that we're carrying this down also. And so we get negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2x squared, plus that 16x that comes down. All right, so divide, multiply, subtract. Let's do it again. Negative 2x squared divided by x is negative 2x. This should actually be over here. Sorry about that. So that's negative 2x. We multiply negative 2x by x minus 5. Get negative 2x squared. And then negative 2x times negative 5 is plus 10x. So we've multiplied. Now we're going to subtract this from what we have right above it. Noticing that the negative 2x squareds will cancel out. We have 16. Let's show that we're carrying this down. We have 16x minus 10x, giving us 6x, and the minus 30 comes down. Then we divide 6x by x and get positive 6. So we multiply 6 times this entire thing, x minus 5. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And we should see that this is identical, so everything should cancel out, which is good. Let's subtract 6x minus 30 and just show that these cancel out, and leaves us with no remainder. So because we don't have any remainder, this is exactly our final quotient, 2x cubed plus x squared minus 2x plus 6. And we could check by expanding, multiplying the whole thing, that x minus 5 times 2x cubed plus x squared minus 2x plus 6 actually is equal to this entire polynomial in here. Now let's do one more. This time we're going to divide 64x cubed plus 15x plus 1 by 8x plus 1. And remember, whenever we see something that's missing an x squared term, or any term for that matter, we want to include it with a placeholder of 0. Otherwise our work gets a little sloppy. So I'm going to include that 0x squared plus 15x plus 1. And we'll start dividing. So 64x cubed divide by 8x. 64 divided by 8 is 8. X cubed divided by x is x squared. So we want 8x squared right here. So divide, multiply 8x squared by 8x plus 1. 8x squared times 8x is 64x cubed, which is good. We want to make sure it cancels. And 8x squared times 1 is, of course, just 8x squared. We subtract the result. And it's good. 64x cubed minus 64x cubed cancels. We're going to subtract 0 minus 8, and we're going to bring the 15 down. So 0x squared minus 8x squared is negative 8x squared. And we bring down that 15x. So now we move to our next term, which is here. We divide, and again, then we're going to multiply and subtract. So divide negative 8x squared by 8x. Negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. X squared divided by x is just x. So we get negative 1x. So we divide the first term by the first term. We multiply negative x times this whole thing. So negative x times 8 is negative 8x squared. Negative x times 1 is negative 1x. We're going to subtract this from right above it. The negative 8x squareds cancel, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. 15 minus a negative x is the same as 15 plus x, so I'm going to change that to plus a positive and see that 15 plus 1 is 16x. And we carry down that plus 1. And then again, we divide 16x divided by 8x. So 16 divided by 8 is 2, and the x divided by x is nothing, so just 2 right here. We multiply 2 times 8x plus 1, so 2 times 8x is 16x. 2 times 1 is 8. And we're going to subtract this from right above it. So we divide 16x by 8x to get the 2. We multiply 2 by 8x plus 1. And we subtract the result. So the 16x's cancel, which is what we want. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. We have nothing else to bring down or nothing else to multiply, so we're just left with a remainder of negative 7 over 8x plus 1. Right, so remember that that remainder of negative 7 has to go into the numerator, and the denominator is just this fraction out here. And you could check again that multiplying 8x plus 1 by 8x squared minus x plus 2 minus 7 over 8 plus 8x plus 1. That product is equal to everything in here. So we're just dividing, multiplying, subtracting over and over, and the remainder goes right here. So rewatch any parts of this video if you need to, and work on today's problems from the weekly assignment.